Dear participants, kindly wait a few minutes for ma'am is trying to start her presentation.
Usha, can you hear? Usha?
Yes, ma'am. Kindly share your please, ma'am. Otherwise, you send it to our mail ID, ma'am.
Okay. Now, shall I take another day? Because I don't think, because I have two systems. I don't. Once again, it is coming and going.
Okay, okay, ma'am. No.
Shall I'll just do it on some other day.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Kindly, can we have a questionnaire section?
Okay, I'll just do it on some other day.
Ma'am?
One second, let me try once again. One second. Usha,
yes,
I'll just. Is it visible now? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am.
No,
okay. Now is
it is visible, ma'am.
Voltage source converters?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Then in that case, let me start from here.
It's visible only. Visible.
Okay, thank you. So, as I concluded earlier, the only point, don't worry about the complex expressions and all. When you analyze three-phase systems feeding unbalanced linear or non-linear loads, the instantaneous three-phase power has average and oscillatory component, and instantaneous reactive power has average and oscillatory component. So there is something called a load compensation. As we are all electrical engineers, many of you have done post-graduation in PS and PED. The theory of load the objective of load compensation is make the source to see a balanced resistive load. Only then you can maximize your power factor. So in commercial, in the distribution side, power factor plays a major role. So in the industry, people normally they used to say power factor as a ratio of the watt to VA. The numerator of the power factor is watts. Watt has a unit of watt, denominator is volt ampere, therefore watt to VA. So you need to maximize kVA equal to kilowatt is the thumb rule in the case of industries. So this is possible. Kilowatt will be equal to kVA only if the load is a pure resistive load. So the objective of the load compensation is along with the existing load, add some auxiliary devices such that whatever the load, the non-useful component of the power demanded by the load will be supplied by the auxiliary device. Only the active power, which has a unit of watt, will be taken from the source. So as I mentioned earlier, P three-phase has P average and P oscillatory. Q three-phase has equal to Q average plus Q oscillatory. Out of these four terms, P average, P oscillatory, Q average, Q oscillatory, P average is going to do the useful work. Okay, that has a unit of watts. All the three remaining components, they are wattless components. They are reactive volt amperes, wattless components, and they do not contribute to the energy transfer. And their average value over one supply cycle is also 0. Therefore, our aim is using some auxiliary devices, supply these three components to the load. These three components are needed for the load. Therefore, instead of taking without compensator, all the four components will be supplied by the source. So, with the compensation, three components, the wattless components, oscillatory components, oscillatory active power, and the total reactive power will be supplied by a local means. Only the active power will be taken from the source. That is the principle of the load compensation. So, the auxiliary device, yes, you can use some filters. You can connect some filters, passive filters parallel to the load. So always we know that the passive filters, they are bulky because we can tune the filters. We can tune the filter only for one frequency. Suppose if we want to suppress a number of harmonics, let us say 3, 5, 7, 13, something like that. In that case, for each harmonics, we have to tune. You have to have a tuned LC section, and each one. And since they are tuned at the different frequencies, 250 hertz, like that, and all multiples of 50 hertz, 5 into 50, 7 into 50, 11 into 50, something like that. The frequency range is also in the low range, and hence the bulkiness of the tuned filter will also get increased. That is a drawback of the active filters, passive filters. So to overcome or to alleviate this problem, people have started using active filters. The active filter is essentially nothing but a voltage source inverter. You can use either a current source inverter or a voltage source inverter to suppress this, to use the which can act as a shunt active filter. So the voltage source inverter, a 3-phase inverter, it can be programmed in such a way that can be controlled in such a way that it can supply the unwanted, the oscillatory components needed by the load, and the source can supply the only the active component. That is the point. I will just take it. Okay, this is a closed loop control of a system. I'll just take it. I have just taken a schematic diagram of a setup where we have a 3-phase system, a bidirectional voltage source converter, which is nothing but a 3-phase VSI, and on the DC end we have different types of loads. So suppose if there is no bidirectional VSC, if it is a diode bridge rectifier, to supply to have a DC support, this is a DC microgrid. Suppose if this is a diode bridge rectifier or SCR based converter, then in that case, the current drawn from the utility, current drawn on this side will be non-sinusoidal. The current drawn from this side is non-sinusoidal. So here I am using a bidirectional voltage source converter, which is capable of working in the 4 quadrants. So let me show the this bidirectional VSC can work in all the 4 quadrants of the VI plane. So supply voltage can be the supply voltage can be made to the current drawn by the load can be made to be in phase with the supply voltage. The current can be made to lag the supply voltage by 90 degrees or lead, or at any desired power factor angle, we can achieve this. This is the operation of the, by using this bidirectional VSC, we can do this. The bidirectional VSC is essentially a voltage source inverter. So our aim in the our aim is using this bidirectional VSC, I am going to make the source current to be in phase with the supply voltage. So let me consider a schematic diagram of that, where the source impedance, the L and R, represents the feeder supply impedance and the very small resistance. And this is a 3-phase inverter, and we have a combination of loads connected on the DC side. Okay, this is a simple, if you forget about these things, you traverse this path, supply voltage, bidirectional VSC, and the load. It's a simple rectifier arrangement. It is a simple boost rectifier arrangement, and without any compensator, without any control action, this will draw a current which is pulsating in nature. Okay, all the 3 currents will be equal, but they will have the similar shape, but it will be pulsating in nature. So to make the supply power factor unity, or to achieve the compensation, we are going for some closed loop control. As I mentioned earlier, the objective is we need to supply the oscillatory power and the total reactive voltamperes. That's the thing. For that, if we look into the control block diagram, we have VGA into IGA, VGB into IGB, all the 3. This is the A phase instantaneous power, B phase instantaneous power, C phase instantaneous power. They are all added. So our output of the summer is the 3-phase instantaneous power. So we know that already the mathematics, first you need to understand the mathematics part. That's why I took in the earlier part. that I could not do it successfully because, as I mentioned, P average. When you pass this when you pass this instantaneous three-phase power through a low-pass filter, we'll extract the P average component. Okay, this will extract the P average component. Now, the objective of the three-phase voltage source inverter is we need to regulate the output voltage. For that, you need not worry about this as of now. The summer part, I will come to this later. So, the output of the LPF will have a P average component. That's the thing. Now, we have the Q and the I have also shown the elaborate block diagram, control block diagram here. VAIA plus VBIB. So the voltages are transformed into alpha beta, currents are transformed into alpha beta. So we are getting P and Q, V alpha dot I alpha plus V beta dot I beta. It is a dot product. So here Q is, I have shown as an asterisk, it is a mistake. This P is a dot product, V alpha dot I alpha, V beta dot I beta. This is V alpha cross I beta. And this is a cross product. Okay, so we are forming P and Q, passed with a low pass filter, so we'll get the P average component here. So in order to P average component, using this P average component and a very small loss component that we are getting from the capacitance present in the input of the voltage source inverter, we are a very small loss component. So both are added and we are getting another component called the reference current, IA, IB and IC. Using this P component, whatever we are calculating, we are doing some transformation in the alpha beta frame, and there is something called the IA alpha, IRA, IRB, IRC. So this is the reference current, because from the nonlinear current, we are extracting a component of the current that has to be in phase with the supply voltage. So when we, after this manipulation, after this calculation, when you find this IRA, IRB and IRC, these currents, they will be in phase with the supply voltage. So it's only external to the inverter. All the using three sensors, using voltage sensors and current sensors, the voltages are measured, currents are measured, and using some computational block, you can compute and you can extract the reference current. That's what. So we got this one of the techniques of, I have shown two different techniques of reference current. There are a number of techniques available in the literature. Okay. If you look into this, so the synchronous about the first control block diagram, the supply voltage and the current, after compensation, you can see that the currents are in phase with the supply voltage. And also, if you look at the load voltage, for step variations in the load voltage is also getting regulated. In all the three-phase shunt active filters, there will not be any DC source on the output of the inverter, on the DC end of the inverter, because whatever the energy has to be stored in the capacitor, the instantaneous supply to meet the oscillatory active and the reactive voltamperes, the capacitor will either absorb or supply the instantaneous component. Next cycle power will be zero. On an average, over one supply cycle, the average voltage across a capacitor is constant. So instantaneously it will supply and draw. So for that, we need to regulate the capacitor voltage. That's why that component is shown as a P loss in the earlier slide. Okay, let me just apply this in a hybrid grid. How we can apply this to a hybrid grid, where we have a wound rotor induction generator and a voltage source converter. We have a battery bank. So this is a wound rotor induction generator, a capacitor bank, and a voltage source inverter, and the DC renewables. I think I have taken a wrong slide. Sorry, I have taken a wrong PPT. I have opened a wrong PPT. Once, let me just wait. Please wait. Just wait. Hello? Am I audible? Usha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Audible, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is a single line diagram of.
Arrange-
Hello, can you hear? Hello? Is it getting?
Ma'am,
Is it getting?
ma'am, it is audible, ma'am.
It's not shared.
Yes, ma'am, it is shared only, ma'am.
Okay. Can you hear? Shall I proceed?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's a point of. No, we have a three-phase network, point of measure. So all that loads are measured here. All loads are shown here as a current sources, and it is understood that we have fundamental component and fundamental component and different harmonic components. They are getting included in the supply network. So all these harmonic currents should be supplied by the shunt active filters. The shunt active filter is essentially a voltage source inverter. It is capable of doing the rectification, inversion, as well as a load compensation. So the circuit diagram of a voltage source converter is shown here. So this is the EA, EB, EC are the supply voltages where the nonlinear load gets connected. So the same supply voltage, the three-phase VSI is also connected. The various, we can also call this as a three-phase boost rectifier. The boost rectifier exhibits four modes of operation. So they are listed, they are shown as an equivalent circuits. The control scheme for the VSC is you have to draw the per cycle single line diagram of the three-phase network. The voltages and currents, they are written in the states, they are written in the differential equation form, and we have developed the mathematical model, and a decoupled controller has been developed. And if you look into the supply voltage, and at this point, both the real and reactive power exchange will take place. And this is a passive filter. And using this PWM rectifier, it is possible to achieve either voltage regulation. We can do voltage regulation and the power factor correction, or can do voltage. As I mentioned earlier, there are two issues with respect to the distribution side. One is the voltage regulation, another one is the power factor correction. So I have shown the clear block diagram both to achieve the supply voltage regulation and power factor correction. So for both the cases, the two important points in the distribution end are, one is the load voltage regulation, where other loads get connected, voltage regulation, and the power factor improvement. So the same VSC, this voltage source inverter can be configured, can be controlled in such a way, either you can do power factor correction or voltage regulation. It has nothing to do with the DC voltage regulation. The essential thing is DC voltage has to be regulated. Only then all these operations are possible. Primary thing is DC voltage regulation. In addition, without DC voltage regulation, none of the control schemes will work. Therefore, DC voltage has to be regulated. In addition to the DC voltage regulation, the user have two flexibilities. One is either the user can go for the supply power factor correction, or he can do the voltage regulation at the supply end, AC voltage regulation at the supply end. That's what I have shown as two levels, two different types of block diagrams here. Okay. This is a vector control scheme. N number of control schemes are available. The vector control scheme principle is shown here. So we need to measure the voltages and currents. For synchronization, we are going for using a PLL, and a simple diagram, and a simple flow diagram is block diagram is shown here. If we look into the DC voltage control loop, okay, I have shown the filter part alone. So in the same line, we also have connected an AC nonlinear load. Okay, so what is the role of the filter? I have shown here. This is R load is a very large resistance, a dump resistance that's connected in parallel with the CDC. So a shunt active filter should not consume any power for its operation. Okay, so without altering the active power transferred from the source and the load, the SAF should not take part, should not consume any active power. So that's why the R load, it is not, it is a very large resistance, and hence the power consumed will be 1% or of the total power transferred to the load. So the three-phase load, I have not, this is the, at this point, the three-phase nonlinear load, physical nonlinear load is connected. This is the shunt active filter part. So this is a type of closed loop control scheme we have employed. So this is a DC voltage control loop. This is where PI controller, the VDC and IDC, a PI controller. It will generate the VD reference and ID reference. And using this cross coupling, we'll be generating the voltages, USD and USQ. And it's a cross coupling. It's a very standard vector control scheme we have adopted. And USD and USQ we can take. This USD and USQ, it can be transformed into ABC frame to generate the modulating signals for the three-phase VSC. There are actually basically the three-phase VSC can be controlled. Controlled by two means. One is my current control method, where you can apply simple hysteresis current controller to control the currents. The next one is the voltage control mode. So when we deal with the large currents, voltage control mode is more suitable than current control mode, because the voltage control mode makes use of alpha it's a DQ transformation. It makes all the AC components as DC quantities, because it uses D-axis component, D-axis voltage, all these things. All the instantaneous components are converted to DC components, and hence control effort will be designing control loops with the DC components. They are simpler than AC loops, and hence this method is preferred for large power transfer. For low power transfer, in the terms of hundreds of thousands, less than 1 kilowatt or 2 kilowatt, we can also employ hysteresis current control scheme. Okay, this is a simulation setup we have done in the lab. So if you see that after the compensation, the load current is made in phase with the source voltage. The red color indicates a voltage waveform, and the black color indicates a current waveform. And also when there is a very large variation in the load, and instantaneously the load current, immediately also the load current follows the voltage and making the current to be in phase with the supply voltage. And it is also observed that DC voltage is also regulated. Without DC voltage regulation, this power transfer is not possible. And for during transients also, it's possible to transfer the current. It's possible to achieve UPF operation. The next important point is the AC voltage control loop, where you can also the same VSC can be achieved either to improve the power factor or to improve the supply voltage regulation, not DC voltage regulation. So this is a simple schematic illustrating the AC voltage control mode, and the AC voltage control mode is also illustrated here. A step change in AC reference is made for t less than 1 second, and it is for in both the cases it follows the reference voltage. And without DC voltage regulation, none of them is possible, and it is also shown here. So the PCC voltage and current waveforms. The PCC voltage and many cycles are shown here. Expanded view is shown in the other slide. We look into that. During AC voltage regulation, the PCC voltage is regulated, but the current need not be in phase with the voltage. That's what it is shown here. The PCC voltage is regulated depending upon whether the Q to achieve voltage regulation, we need to inject or absorb the reactive power. Therefore, here it is shown clearly that Q is negative. It's like a lagging component. Here it is Q is leading, so it shows as a positive angle. So the same VSC can also perform the PCC voltage regulation. Now, what is PCC? I just stopped there. There only the problem arose. So if we look into this single line diagram, look. So here, this is medium voltage transformer. This is a point of measurement. At the point of common coupling, you need to calculate. One has to calculate the total fundamental current needed by the load and the total harmonic current needed by the load. Okay, at the PCC. That's why at PCC, some of the loads may be linear loads. Some of them may be the linear loads. Downstream, some of them may be linear loads, and IH will be the non-linear load. Okay. At the PCC, one has to calculate the total fundamental current leaving PCC and the total harmonic current leaving PCC. The ratio of IH to I1 is the THD value. So you need to understand about IEEE 519 harmonic standard. So the first on the left hand side, it is about the short circuit capacity IC by IL. Okay. Now, for a given based upon the short circuit impedance, based upon the positive sequence impedance seen by the supply, you can calculate, you can fix one of the rows. You can fix one of the rows. And the individual harmonic distortions, the first number indicates H less than or equal to 11. The harmonic numbers less than 11 are considered. Their distortion is restricted to these numbers. Depending upon this one, based upon the short circuit capacity, depending upon the positive sequence impedance seen at the PCC point. What is X plus at the PCC point? You select one of the rows. 1 by X plus is the short circuit capacity. You select one of the rows, and for the selected, let us say for example, I'm selecting my short circuit capacity is around 49. I'm selecting this row as an example. So in that, after selecting this, the harmonic now all the harmonics less than 11, less than number, their RMS value should not exceed 7% of the fundamental. Similarly, 11 to 17, it should not exceed 3.5% of the fundamental, like that. But the total demand distortion is 8. Total TDD. TDD is a total demand distortion. It is allowed 8. So while designing the filters, one has to be very clear and careful that the total demand distortion has also be satisfied. Simultaneously, individual harmonic distortions also has to be satisfied. Both of them are to be satisfied. So it is possible only with the shunt active filters. Out of the shunt active filters, voltage source inverters, either voltage source or current source inverters, interchangeably we can use. But voltage source inverters are economical and easy to maintain, and hence current voltage source inverters are economical. By economics point of view, VSIs are cheaper than CSIs, but CSIs are rugged. Therefore, from the economics point of view, VSIs are preferred. That's what I have shown. This VSC is essentially a three-phase voltage source inverter, but without any DC end. I have just taken an example with the load. On the other side, I have shown some simulations, but essentially it is a voltage source inverter with a capacitor on the other end. So this capacitor, it is very much essential. If you look into the SAF configuration, the SAF configuration is essentially a voltage. It's a boost rectifier. It's a boost rectifier. So the capacitor has to be charged to a voltage greater than the peak of the supply voltage, peak of the line voltage. Only then the boost operation will happen. So the capacitor voltage has to be maintained about this value. Then using some reference current, using some the calculation blocks, whatever I have shown, if you just interconnect all those blocks, then the currents, the VSIs can be controlled in such a way that all the VSI, there is a saying in power electronics, the current harmonics are occurring only due to the use of the switching devices. The same, that's a problem. Using the same switching device, we can also we can also control the harmonics. That is, we can cut diamond only with a diamond. The same way, the current harmonics can also be suppressed via using a voltage, using a power electronic switches. Therefore, by intelligently controlling, it has nothing to do with the shunt active filter, has nothing to do with the configuration. This is essentially a shunt active filter. Whatever the diagram I have shown is a shunt active filter. But the way in which the switches are turned on and off in the three-phase inverter, that decides the mode of operation. So, as I mentioned, either you can make the source voltage, either you can make the current IA in phase with the EA, IB in phase with the EB, or that is UPF operation. This is also possible intelligently by controlling the switches. This intelligence is nothing but a calculation of the different components of the power and which one you want to supply and which one you want to suppress. Based upon that intelligence information external to the inverter, all these are calculated and these calculations are converted as switching pulses and they are given to the different devices. That's one. The next objective is you can also do the bus voltage regulation. Suppose if EA, EB, EC, they are not at the desired value, if there is a reduction in RMS value, then it is also the same DSC, it is also possible to achieve the voltage regulation. The two major issues in power electronics, in the power quality, in the respect to distribution end are voltage regulation and the power factor improvement. So power factor, with the same DSC, one can achieve either, not both simultaneously, either harmonic compensation or voltage regulation. Both are illustrated in this in the slides. I have used some BQ control, and this is the overall diagram illustrating whether AC voltage control and harmonic compensation. And hope I have explained all these things. And the simulation waveforms are also shown for both the cases. Sorry, I could not do that in a complete form. Any doubts, please ask.
Ma'am, thank you very much, ma'am, for your support.
Sorry, I could not do that in a fulfilled form. There are some interruptions.
No, ma'am, no issues, ma'am.
Okay. If there are any doubts, let them ask. I'll wait. Okay, Usha,
Oh,
okay, shall I? Any doubts?
Participants, if you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box or you can ask. No questions, ma'am.
It was very good presentation, ma'am. It was a very good presentation, and
Sorry,
madam,
I didn't do well today.
ma'am, actually your result, those who have worked in shunt active filter, they know the pains of the research behind this, ma'am. It was really good, and the results were crystal clear, ma'am. It was clear.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Any doubts, they can call. I'll share the PPT to Madam Usharani, ma'am. Students can take that. Okay. Shall I stop?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Usha, ma'am. Priyadashni, ma'am. Priyadashni, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give the vote of thanks, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I think ma'am left. Usharani, ma'am left the meeting, I think.
No problem.
Okay,
No problem. If tell one that I'll be sharing the PPT tonight.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall I sign off?
Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am. Priya, ma'am.
Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I say, ma'am? Yes. From Honorable Chief Guest of the session today, Dr. Uma, ma'am, and Usharani, ma'am, and dear all participants and my convener, co-conveners, Nita, ma'am, and SK, ma'am. It is my privilege to say vote of thanks today. And ma'am explained the topics on hormonal distortion and the it is very nice. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Any doubts, please?
Thank you,
I'm ready to help. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Participants, I have shared the feedback link. You can give the feedback. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am? Uma, ma'am?
Ma'am, just now I left, I think.
Ma'am left. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Dear participants, kindly join tomorrow around 10:20 per.
Participants, tomorrow you can join the session at 10:20.